If you've ever had a sub look you dead in the eyes, smirk, and dare you to do something about it, then you already know this moment. They're pushing, they're testing, they're practically begging for consequences. But if your response doesn't land with enough authority, erotic tension, and psychological weight, the whole moment and power dynamic can collapse, and suddenly the brat is running the show. That's why today I'm giving you 10 powerful ways to threaten this type of submissive, the kind of lines that make a brazen brat pause, swallow, and realize they may have pushed their dominant a little too far. First, let's define the term. In BDSM, SAM stands for Smart Ass Masochist. This is the submissive who doesn't just enjoy pain, they enjoy provoking the sadist who delivers it. They tease, they mouth off, they challenge authority, not necessarily because they don't respect their dominant, but because they love the tension that comes from pushing limits inside a consensual dom-sub dynamic. A SAM is basically saying, how far can I go before you take control? For the right dominant, this can be incredibly erotic, because when you know how to handle a bratty masochist, that sass becomes fuel for the scene. But this brings us to an important distinction that many dominants miss: brat tamers versus brat handlers. Not every dominant engages with bratty energy the same way, and if you don't know which one you are, you're gonna feel constantly thrown off by this type of submissive. But the easiest way to understand this is to imagine a tennis match. A brat handler is someone who hits the ball back. The brat serves sass, the dominant volleys it right back, and the teasing becomes part of the erotic rhythm of the scene. Back and forth, back and forth. The banter itself becomes foreplay. Handlers enjoy that power play. They enjoy letting the brat think they've gotten away with something right up until they haven't. A brat tamer, on the other hand, doesn't volley. They end the match. Their goal isn't to play with the sass. Their goal is to shut it down. And that's not a flaw, it's simply a different style of dominance. The problem happens when a dominant doesn't know which role they're playing. And if you try to volley when you actually want obedience, you're going to get frustrated. If you try to crush the sass when the brat is expecting playful escalation, you'll kill the erotic energy in the scene. This is why self-awareness as a dominant is everything. You need to know where your boundaries are, what tone you want in your DS dynamic, and what will happen if and when an actual line gets crossed. If brat dynamics are something you want to master, I go much deeper into this inside my free Brat Taming Masterclass here on YouTube. And I also have an entire brat taming bundle on Patreon that breaks down the psychology, strategies, and power dynamics of handling different brats and dominating effectively. Both are linked below if you want to explore that side of your power exchange more deeply. Now, let's talk about something most dominants completely overlook: erotic communication. How you say something is often far more powerful than what you say. This is where erotic intelligence and embodied domination come into play. Anyone can shout threats. Real dominance isn't about yelling. It's about tone, presence, authority, and control. And doing so in a grounded, embodied way. A truly skilled sadist doesn't just threaten pain, they seduce the nervous system with it. The pause before the words, the quiet confidence, the slow realization spreading across the submissive's face that, oh shit, they mean it. A bratty masochist is constantly scanning their dominant for cues. They're asking themselves, does this person actually have control here? If your voice is uncertain or reactive, your energy anxious, the brat senses it immediately. But when your delivery is calm, grounded, and deliberate, those same words suddenly carry a very different kind of power. And if you want to develop that power, you'll find the entire framework for seductive authority inside my erotic communication bundle on Patreon, where I break down how dominants can use tone of voice, pacing, psychological tension, and erotic language to deepen their authority in and out of the dungeon. Now that we've covered the psychology, let's get into demonstration. These are 10 ways a dominant might threaten a bratty masochist when the teasing has gone just a little too far, and it's time to widen the power gap and show them who's really in charge. Continue, and you will learn the true meaning of pain. You don't want to sit for a week, do you? Apparently, I've given you the impression that I'm too gentle, passive, perhaps, too lenient. You will not have that impression after today. Very well. Just remember, as you're crying and whining and screaming, that you had your chance right now, and you chose not to take it. Shh. We haven't even begun yet, little one. Quiet. I don't want to gag you again. Why not? I want to hear your screams. Shh, shh, shh. You wanted this pain, remember? Oh, silly boy. This is about what I want now. Are you done trying to top me now? I can make pain your greatest enemy. Do you understand that now? The real power of erotic language isn't just about the words you speak, but the authority, certainty, and seductive charge behind them. And to master that erotic charge and get even more sultry lines to shut down a sassy Sam, you can listen to the full 20-minute audio story Attitude Adjustment on Patreon now, where these lines were pulled from. An erotic performance between myself and a male dom that demonstrate exactly how this is done. And you can read the story plus 40 more erotic BDSM scenes now in my new book, The Queen's Vault. All links are in the description. Remember, a Sam pushes because they're looking for the moment where the dominant's control becomes undeniable. And when your tone, presence, and boundaries are solid, those provocations stop feeling like chaos and start feeling like foreplay, sexual tension, and deeply erotic anticipation. And to my channel members, thank you. Your support allows me to keep creating content with minimal ads and interruptions and to raise the standard for ethical dominance and erotic leadership in real life, not just fantasy. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.